In this video, we're going to take a tour of the Websby root webspace as seen by the webmaster or the web manager. We'll talk about each of the icons and toolbars shown in the root webspace and what they do. The root webspace does double duty as both the webspace that defines the website's homepage and the area where the various aspects of the site's configuration is managed. The first thing to notice about the root webspace is that it is the only webspace in a site that has a link to the school itself. District webmasters also have a link to the district area of Websby where all sites are configured, but web managers can expect to only see the school icon. Clicking the school icon will take you to the school page in Websby where school news and calendar events can be added. Also in this toolbar is the Websby link, which will return you to the Websby application start screen, where you can view the sites you manage and the webspaces you are part of. Finally, the root webspace has a link to open the website itself in a browser, another feature unique to the root webspace. Initially, all webspaces load in the dashboard view, which is easily identifiable as the view that contains the large icons in the middle of the screen. These icons are grouped according to two main categories. On the left are links and icons that lead to content objects, while the right side of the screen is devoted to the configuration of both the entire website as well as the site homepage. Content objects are those areas which have to do with the actual information you want to put on the website. The dashboard icons each have a smaller version of themselves on the left side, and these open the Pages module, the feed, the calendar, any folders that are in the root webspace, and the list of sub-webspaces that make up the website. There's also a link to open the website in a browser on this side, as well as on the navigation bar on the top left as mentioned earlier. As illustrated here, clicking on either of the page icons will replace the dashboard center panel with a listing of the documents or pages that have been created in the root webspace. As you can see, this particular website has two pages in the root, and you can see that the expansion view on the left is identical to the full pages list in the center panel. A page can be opened for editing from either list, however there are a number of additional functions available only in the full pages view. You can activate any of the content objects using the left-hand icons directly without having to return to the dashboard view. The feed link will replace the center panel with the webspace's feed, and new posts can be made or edited there. The calendar icon will open the calendar in a month view, and you can add or edit events for that particular webspace's calendar from there. Folders can be added, edited, deleted, and opened from the folders list view. Regardless of where you are, the dashboard icon and link will return you to the dashboard and replace the center panel with the starting configuration containing those large icons that access all aspects of the webspace. In most cases, a website consists of a number of sub-webspaces where content can be organized by subject or type. Sub-webspaces can themselves have sub-webspaces, allowing the website to have a hierarchical structure of organized content. While the sub-webspaces are listed on the left in the expanded view, clicking on the icon itself will bring the sub-webspace console to the center panel, and from here you can add new sub-webspaces and edit the properties of those already in existence. The configuration objects are, as mentioned, most concentrated in the root webspace. In similar fashion to the content objects, the dashboard icons for configuration objects all have equivalent links in the configuration toolbar at the top right of the screen. While every webspace has a layout, the root webspace has extra functionality, allowing you to work with the object configuration forms, the site's main images folder, the site's fonts, and the site's color palette. All webspaces have a setup option, but only the root webspace has the broadcast capability, which adds a message to all pages in the site simultaneously. The site configuration icon will not appear on the web manager's view of the root webspace, as this area is only available to webmasters. On the top configuration toolbar of the root webspace are two icons that have no larger version in the dashboard. The Invite button is available to all webspaces, and it opens up a form used to share the current webspace with any user in the system. The school directory is only in the root webspace, and it leads to a configuration screen where those staff members who will be included in the school directory can be added or removed. Every webspace has a layout that can be configured by the web manager or webmaster. The layout is a representation of the content layout that is on the web page itself, and it's a powerful console to create virtually any type of page layout desired. The root webspace layout manager, in addition to defining the content layout for the site's homepage, also contains the website's header menu links and the mechanism to add or edit those links. All WebSpace layouts contain a side menu object that allows you to add links to the current WebSpace page only. Websby layouts can be divided up into 3 columns with unlimited rows of content panels in each column. Additionally, any number of individual layouts can be combined in one WebSpace master layout to create an almost limitless set of possibilities. Layout panels are associated with the content object to display the content in that particular panel. In this example, you can see how the Layout Manager's representation of the page layout corresponds to the web page itself as rendered in the browser. Note that the layout does not have any effect on the colors or design of the site, including the site's graphical banners, if present. These settings are made by the webmaster and are outside of this video scope. As already stated, the root WebSpace is different than other layouts because it contains the header menu editor, which you can see here corresponds to the menu on the website. The menu editor deals only with links on the menu, not the format of the menu, again, which is defined elsewhere. The collapsed view of the header menu in the Layout Manager shows the top-level links as they appear on the website. But to see all of the links, including any of that are in drop-down lists, you have to expand the menu, and here you can see that the menus are displayed in the same order as they appear on the website. To exit the layout view of the website, you can either click on the left-hand side of the dashboard icon or the one on the top right in the Object Config toolbar. This will replace the layout with the dashboard view of the WebSpace once again. Websby uses special forms to allow you to customize how content appears in panels. There are different kinds of configuration forms that correspond to the different content types, such as pages, feeds, and calendars, etc. We'll go into more detail about the forms themselves in other videos and tutorials, but for now, just know that the root WebSpace is where the collection of object configuration forms for the whole site can be managed. In most implementations, object configuration forms are created by the webmaster and locked so that they cannot be modified by web managers. This is to protect the default designs in the site from being changed. However, web managers can create their own object configurations as needed to create custom stylings for pages, feeds, calendars, and slideshows, etc. The Site Images folder is a special area found only in the root WebSpace that contains images used in the construction of the site itself, such as logos, menu backgrounds, and gradients, etc. Every website in Websby has its own color palette that is set up to be used by the various parts of the site, from fonts to the site configuration and object configuration forms. A central palette makes it much easier to ensure that the website has consistency in the colors used. The basic colors for the site, those used in the design of the site, will likely be locked so they can't be edited. However, web managers can add their own colors using a simple color picker or by entering the hexadecimal color value in the new color pop-up form. The fonts available for use in the site are also centrally managed from the root WebSpace. Again, most of the fonts already made at the outset will be locked by the webmaster to keep consistency within and across the websites in the district. But web managers are free to add their own special fonts for use with custom object configuration forms to format content differently for special purposes or special events in the school. Adding or editing fonts is done through the Font Edit pop-up, from where the font face, color, size, and other attributes can be set. Note that the colors must be in the palette before they can be used for fonts or object configuration forms. The broadcast feature is a simple form that, when filled out with text, will cause the text to be broadcast to all pages within the site immediately when any page is loaded by a visitor. The text can be linked to any valid URL, and this feature is designed to be an effective emergency broadcasting capability for the school in situations where there are weather closures or lockdown situations or other important events. As stated earlier, the site configuration is only available to webmasters, so we won't go there in this video. We'll also leave the Share WebSpace and School Directory functions for another video, but just before we leave, we'll open up a sub-webspace so that you can see the difference between the root WebSpace of a site and all other webspaces in that site. Sub-webspaces are much less complex than the root WebSpace. Notice that this sub-webspace has only 2 configuration icons in its dashboard view, but retains all of the content object functionality. Look for more videos that will go into detail about the various parts of Websby you've seen in this overview, and don't forget to visit our help site at help.websby.net for more information and tutorials. Talk to you soon.